online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome. We start every episode just by cracking up laughing at our own song choices. Hello, welcome to... Oh, there we go.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for.
Welcome, yet again, to another episode of Face Off, AfterBuzz wrap-up show. This is for episode 11, Imaginary Friends. If you've not done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Also, be sure to check us out on iTunes and on SoundCloud by searching AfterBuzz TV. And be sure to tweet us. We love hearing from you guys. Use that hashtag ABTVFaceoff. And you can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan, because I'm your host, Alana Jordan. And today I'm joined by my co-host.
Hey, I'm Aaron, and you can find me on Twitter at AAMOmusic.
And I'm Emma Fyffe. You can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe.
And I'm Alexis Torres. You can find me at atorres890.
And we are super excited because we have 3 of our favorite contestants from Face Off here today. We had to sing that. Julian, Emily, and Jamie's back. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're so glad that you're here today.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Well, this episode was awesome. This was a super cool one. They had to do all of their makeups based off of these imaginary friends that different children came up with. And we saw something kind of similar back in season 3 with the monster twist, where we had the renderings that the kids did, kind of their little sketches, and then the artists had to do a makeup based off of those sketches. But this one I think was even more challenging. I know last episode Mackenzie said this is the most daunting challenge yet on Face Off. I think this one was even harder because some of these kids were coming up with stuff that I was like, all right, calm down. So what do you guys think? Was this one of the more difficult ones?
I would say so. Just because it's not like it's our own design. We have to make a kid's imagination, which sometimes doesn't always read as well. So we had to try to make that film quality while still making it the kid's vision. So sometimes that's a little difficult.
Yeah, it's true. It's literally not your concept at all. And I think that was something we saw, and Laura actually brought it up, that like sometimes when you do exactly what the kid wants, it ends up really hurting you, like with Rod in season 3, who ended up going home because he made literally the exact monster that the kid drew, basically. Yep. And I think, Julian, that this was something that Laura steered you away from. Right. And yet the judges seem to not necessarily agree with, so
we have no idea what's going on in their heads at any point. Every week we're like, what?
I feel like, no, this episode itself, though, I feel like the judges were very contradicting with their choices.
Yeah.
Like with Rob's, like today, where it was, or no, Ben's. My brain.
Those three-letter male names, I tell you, they're just
then
all the same.
Where they I don't know if it was V or Glenn, where it was like, oh, you did the exactly what he asked for, and I was like, isn't that what the client wants, is for you to do exactly what you want them to? What?
I just love that the client was kids. They're like, you need to make sure that it's the client's vision, and it's like this little kid like I came up with something cool.
I don't think I've ever even heard them use the word client before. The fact that it was like a kid, they're like, client. It's very serious business.
So true.
Well, I loved it. Emily, we'll start with your luck because I love this one. I know this episode... You're so cute. I love you. This episode, showed that you got a little homesick too, which I don't know. I feel like if I was on the show, one, I'd be crying because I have no talent, so it would be like, I shouldn't be here. But I would also be terribly homesick the entire time.
Yeah, it was really difficult being away from home for so long because, like, at this point in the competition, it's like 2 months. It's almost 3 months.
Almost 2 months.
And you know, we can't talk to anyone at home, so it was catching up, especially like last week being on the bottom, and then I was like losing my spirit for it. So it was definitely difficult, but.
Was this the longest period of time you'd ever like been away from your family?
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it just kind of brings me back to like college. Like that was the first time I'd been away from my family for a really long period of time, and like I could call them, and I still was crying every day. So like, girl, you're doing just fine.
And I think it led to the best quote that I've heard on Face Off yet. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth $100,000. Which I was like, that's so perfect. That's spot on.
I did love the little edit they had of Laura's consoling you about it. You want to get into a little more detail about your words of encouragement from Laura?
Laura is such a sweetheart, and so I mean, I'm crying, I'm sculpting, so I'm just like, and then Laura just looks and she's like, and then I'm like, I just need her to say like, it's gonna be okay. And she's like, I'm not good with this. I'm like, just tell me it's okay. Just tell me it's okay. But it was, you know, words from her, you know, definitely did help, and from other, you know, other artists too. So it was really, you know, comforting, and it gave me like that extra like push to like get through it. So.
Yeah, I think Laura said something to you to the effect of, you know, if it was easy, it wouldn't be challenging, and then you wouldn't be able to be proud of the work that you did. It was really cute too, because they had to subtitle it, because it was like so clear that she's like, I want to make you feel better, but I don't really know how. Oh.
But I love too this season. We've talked about that before, about how the camaraderie is like, it's like a little face-off family. So it's kind of cool to see, you know, the comfort aspect, because that's the one kind of, I guess, criticism that we've had, is that it shows so much of your work, which is so great, but we love seeing how you guys are as people, because you're so much fun too. So getting to see these human elements of, you know, yeah, you're away from home for 2 months, that's rough. So I really liked that they kind of threw that in. I'm not sure how you felt about them doing that.
So, talking a little more specifically about the makeup, because this is a makeup show. Emily, can you tell us exactly how you arrived at this creation?
So Maya, she wanted a she came up with Lulu the rabbit, and originally she wanted a rabbit with like bumpy lizard skin, and like immediately I was like, let's go the rabbit route. Like, tell me about Lulu the rabbit. And so she's sidetracked, so she just tells me about Lulu the rabbit, and then I was like, oh, let me do like a genie style, like, I don't know, something that's going to inspire creativity. And I came up with that, but she also wanted it to be Persian, because she was Persian, so it was Persian.
I felt that the face, and this is not a bad thing, is a little cat-like, and Persian is a type of cat.
Thank you.
Wow, that was so well.
Yep. That's as eloquent as Laura.
Yeah. Smooth as glass, guys. Smooth as glass.
But I loved this look. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I loved this one. I think it really kind of captured the whole childlike aspect of it. It looked very much like this would be the physical incarnation of a child's imaginary friend, which is exactly what you were supposed to do. So
yeah, I felt like instead of like an Alice in Wonderland with the white rabbit, it was kind of like if we changed the gender swap and decided instead of it being a fancy man, it was a very fancy woman, and she was a rabbit. That was
Alice and the White Rabbit were one and the same.
Yes, there you
go. She doesn't have a big wig, not this week.
No, she doesn't.
Neil actually talked about, and I was like, didn't you just say last week or the week before, like, stop doing big hair? Okay, I did it.
That actually made me a little mad when V was like, this would have been a great opportunity for one of her big crazy hairstyles. I was like, V, come on. She is adapting. She is trying new things. You leave Emily alone. Now, Emily, you did have a little bit of a struggle with some of the ears on the cowl of this piece, correct?
Yes.
What exactly happened when you took it out of the mold?
The foam, the ear, like there's a chunk that just came off, and then there's another chunk that came off that, and then there was a split down the middle of the cowl, and I had to pre-paint it and then flock it. But once I flocked the rabbit, I looked at it and I'm like, this is solid color. Like this is there's no dimension. So then I went in with eyeshadow to try to like make it work
that's
because
awesome.
I couldn't paint it. But it took like fixing the ear. It definitely took away time. So.
And what exactly was the fur material that you used to get the fuzz that you wanted the judges to feel so badly?
So great.
It was flocking powder,
okay.
and it's used to like just color like pigment, like silicones, like gelatin.
Okay.
But I just found it, and it had that fuzz. You're supposed to use a flocking gun, but we didn't have a flocking gun, so I just stippled it over packs.
Made it work, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think the effect was very cool. Like it looked like a fuzzy rabbit. I know it's not your favorite makeup that you've done on the show, but I don't think it's a bad makeup by any means.
I agree. Which is why it was safe. So, yay. Logan was also safe this week, too, with Bella the mermaid.
And can we just talk about the total opposite reactions to being told that they were safe? So basically, you know, they come back from commercial break and they're like, Emily, Logan, this is Mackenzie. Congratulations, you're safe. You can go back to the makeup room. And Emily's like just full of joy. She's got on her sparkly gold eyeshadow. And it's just like, yay! Logan looks at Mackenzie. Well, it looks, I guess at Mackenzie or maybe at the judges. He gives somebody a side eye and is like, yeah, okay, thanks. He's just, every time Logan is safe, I feel like he's just like, really? I don't think so. That's a tough look.
It was good. Well, considering he wanted to do a monster so badly, and then she's like, sparkly mermaid princess, glowy hearts, and it's gorgeous. And he's like, awesome. Thanks, child.
I actually adore this makeup.
I agree.
For me, if I were one of the judges, which I'm not, this actually probably would have been in top looks for me. I love the sculpting on it. I think he found such a creative way to create something that was still a beautiful mermaid, but still incorporated some of that, you know, special effects element. Because, I mean, a mermaid to me, like, I basically think a woman with straight beauty makeup and a fishtail. You know? And I think that this was very similar. I mentioned earlier when we were watching it, I had a toy of the mermaids from the movie Hook.
Oh.
And this mermaid looks like that.
I was going to say the mermaid that you could take in the bathtub that would like light up and would also sing a song.
Totally.
I had one of those.
Aaron,
and
you
that's
had one of
it
those.
I don't know.
Julian, how about you? Did you have a sparkling mermaid toy that you played with in the bathtub?
I actually did have one.
I like.
Now, Jamie, why don't we get a little outsider perspective on this look, since Jamie is here on behalf of Team Anthony. We'll get a little more into that in the end. She is repping with her bandana. But you're no longer in the competition, but as a makeup artist, I would love to get your perspective on this piece, because I really like it.
Well, I do really like what Logan did. Like, I have not seen such, like, the forms he did. He doesn't like those forms. He doesn't do those forms. So for him to go outside of his comfort zone and actually do the forms he did, I think if he punched it up a little bit with other colors, it would be fantastic. Mm-hmm. It would be a top look. And so he can accent the sculpt he has, because it is an absolutely beautiful sculpt on the face, on down the neck, and through the arms. And the painting, like, I mean, looking at the picture, because I wasn't on stage, I wasn't at the reveal stage, but seeing it here, I can see the dimensions he was going for. And if he had a little bit more time or whatnot, he probably could have punched it up a bit more, but it's still a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Like, I really do like that sculpt. I really do like where he was going. If he, it's always that extra, if you had the extra time, you could have made it even better.
Yeah.
The color scheme for me was reminding me, I don't know if anybody used to have these, ladies, but we used to have, you would take like a ballerina or a fairy and you stick it on this holder and then you pull the
Sky dancers.
Yes, Sky dancers, because the pale like kind of pastel colors. That's what it reminded me of.
Totally does.
And I did have one of those.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
Sky dancers are amazing.
I believe
They
they
are.
discontinued them because
I
too
still
many
have some.
children got injured playing with them.
They don't know how to play them correctly. Okay.
One go in the fire.
What was it?
Isn't there a video of like one going into the fireplace?
I will find this video and it will be amazing.
I've seen that little girl like screams.
I've done that before by accident. We were at a bonfire, or like there was a fire pit, and I did that. It fell right in there. And
I was like, well, that's your fault for bringing your sky
yes,
dancer to the
obviously.
bonfire.
I was 5 years old, and I was like, fly, baby, fly. And it just ended up just dying, baby, die.
I used mine as a weapon and would aim it. I was like, yeah,
See, this is why they discontinued them.
it's because of me. See, I'm on the same page as Logan. I'm like, how can I use this to be monstrous and scary? But it's a beautiful sky dancer.
And a beautiful mermaid.
It
With a
is,
beautiful
it is.
tail. I love that
I
he
know.
incorporated the hearts.
When Ray straight up was like, that's ugly.
I actually wrote down the direct quote from Race, which was, "It can't be that. It just can't."
But at least, you know, that was a little mean, but he was helping, so that's
No,
nice.
it's true. I think it was very helpful, and Logan could have really been in a lot of trouble if he
Yes.
didn't completely redo the tail, because it was pretty ugly.
It was pretty bad.
But it's gorgeous now,
It
so
is.
Yes.
good job, Logan. No need for the side glances. There were also some really good... Hey,
Bear down, almost.
that was pretty
I just
skillful.
rescued
Thank
a
you for
bear
saving Mr. Wiggles.
from falling off the table for anyone who's just listening and not watching.
There were our top looks this week. Darla had hers, which I have to say is very similar to the one that I feel like we saw this on.
That's how I feel about this
I'm just gonna
makeup.
sip my tea over here. Just don't mind me.
This is one that I just really think it should not have been top looks because
I didn't even know it was top looks until Emma pointed it out. I was just like, okay, cool. She's on the bottom. She's going home. And Emma was like, what are you talking about? This is a top look. And I was like, I'm done. Table flip. I'm
now
done.
Alexis is the one trying to flip the table. Julian, Emily, and Jamie were there with me when I saw this makeup for the first time and can attest to the fact that my reaction was not positive. It was like, oh. I was just baffled. For me, I do like the coloring and how she incorporated the like diamond shine into the quote unquote skin of this creature, if you will. But they loved the like crushed rhinestones on the chest, which Emily actually previously did in a foundation challenge, and they didn't seem to be like, this is the most beautiful idea ever. And all of a sudden Darla's doing it, and it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And the other thing is, the work around the mouth on this
Oh my
is
God.
bad. You can see where she attached
Right
it
here.
right
Right here.
along the mouth, and it's very much the same criticism that Jamie's look that ended up sending her home got.
It's just terrible. I think.
Thank you.
I just the when she smiles, it looks like she's in agony.
Yes.
And I feel like it's like a Glenda doll that got ran over, and
you.
that was discolored.
really
That it just, yeah.
you didn't have your imaginary friends just be in total agony constantly.
It's just you.
It was like on The Simpsons where he created that creature and it was like, kill me. That's what I felt like. That's what that figure was saying.
No, because it just, I don't want to go into, like, terrible detail, but the whole mouthpiece down here, it was just like, girl, well, what is that? You got, like, sores underneath there? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Well, and I think we're so passionate because it was a top look, and it's like, why? Why was that?
I hate it because they even brought, like, when they brought her up to the stage and they told her, you know, like, oh, you're a top look, and, like, they love that what was it? Shimmery
Iridescent.
diamond. Yeah, like face. I was like, no, it looks like she just took and like glitter on her face. Like, no, I can't. Honey Bunch is a no.
I would like to bring up a direct quote from Neville, which was, she's got a real gift for simple forms. Keyword simple.
Well, it just seems like this is not anything innovative because they keep saying at this stage in the game, you need to do something new. It needs to be original. It needs to be something that we haven't seen before. And I feel like these are all elements of things that we've seen this season.
Yeah.
There was just nothing. It wasn't even like, oh, we've seen this on Face Off before. It was like, I saw this 2 episodes ago, and I don't understand. It looked like the one that went home for the card challenge to me. Like, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it just it just didn't really make that much sense to me.
That's right.
But
It really does look like Daniel's makeup that he was sent home for on the card challenge.
that was the first thing I thought when I saw it was, so this was Daniel's, and also it's now Top Looks. So sorry, Daniel.
Oh, God.
I just feel like because everybody here put so much effort into their makeup, even throughout this season, I feel like she did one thing.
Yeah.
And then they gave her a dress, and then
But
that
Jordan
was it.
liked it, and so
I know.
there
I mean,
you
no,
go.
that's
If you're-
awesome. I'm glad that
If
Jordan
your
liked
tiny
it.
client likes it, then
So, but minor detail, Jordan did say that she has a purse she carries with her everywhere. Where's the purse?
Oh.
But I have to say too, Jordan said a
that's
lot
what
of
it is.
things.
It's on the ground.
That's a purse?
That's what. Yeah, she was digging diamonds out of there.
Oh, I missed that. I
Well,
was
because she didn't use
too
it.
distracted by the face. But Megan, the model who is modeling this, is lovely, and it's hard to make Megan look not gorgeous, and I think this succeeds.
You know what this reminded me of? Coneheads.
A little bit.
Just like if we had a new form of Conehead, this is what it looks like. Anyway, I can't.
Well,
I'll stop.
Coneheads is a movie.
It is.
So anyway, it's cinematic. There you go.
Yeah.
But Adam's look, the winning look
Which
this
was
week,
awesome.
I was in love with. I love this makeup so much. It is such a cool concept, having the jaw being attached to the chest piece and then having it be the headpiece
head.
and the crazy head movement to make the look like it was consuming all these toys. I loved the whole, all of it. The coloration was spot on.
Yeah.
It made it, because this is one that could have been too scary. It could have crossed the line into, like, that is kind of terrifying. That's the thing of my nightmares. But because it's got these bright, happy Crayola colors,
Yeah.
it looks like something that walks straight out of Monsters, Inc.
Yeah. I looked at it, and my initial thought was, ooh, this is either going to be a top look or a bottom look. Like, this is not going to be safe. This was a crazy direction to go in. I really like it, but as we know, the judges don't always consult me before making their decisions.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
But ultimately, yeah, I really enjoy what Adam did with this makeup.
And I just like the name Laser.
Yeah. Yeah, that I thought was a really cute detail, that the kid was like, it's Laser or Godzilla, and Adam's like, copyright infringement, kid. We're gonna go with Laser.
It's such an Adam thing to say, too. I was
yeah.
like, really? This kid has no idea what you're talking about, dude.
What did you guys think of this one when you saw it on stage? Because we don't get to see all of the elements of incorporating, like seeing it on stage actually walk out.
As soon as I saw it, I knew that he was going to win that, just from the sheer amount of work that he was able to complete.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it just looks amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
especially when they saw it between the 2 top looks, it's obvious which one had the most work put in there. So, yeah.
I
was
totally
really
agree.
impressed.
I agree with Logan. Or not Logan. Julian.
Logan? Where are Logan's here?
Julian. Sorry.
He's off somewhere giving someone side eye. This very second.
It's okay, we call Ben Rob, so just all the names, just say one.
Adam put in a lot of work, and you can see it. And he created a full bodysuit and sculpted the head, and then painted it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's what the kid asked for too. So
Yeah. I really liked the detail that he shared about making the fun fur look more three-dimensional by basically using like Kryolan color hair sprays to make it not look just like bright and flat. And it was very, because colorful and crazy as this is, it's somewhat organic. Like, I could believe that in a fantasy world I would encounter this in nature. It doesn't look just like a cartoon.
I completely agree. That's why I like it so much. There's so much depth to it.
Yeah.
There's detail.
Yeah.
This one, good job. Good
Yeah.
job, Adam. We like it.
I was gonna be real mad if this didn't win, based on the top 2.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be surprised.
I do
with
have
the
to
judges.
say, I feel like Julian, I know you were bottom looks this week, but I thought that this one should have been safe, truthfully, because I know that the criticism for it was, oh, it's too scary, it's too scary. That's what the kid asked for. So you're not going to be like, oh, well, he wanted this, like, beatboxing creature zombie-esque thing, so I'm just going to make hearts and flowers and rainbows.
Unicorns.
Well, in fact, Julian, you did tone it down from what the kid had initially asked for, correct?
Yes, and they, the judges did say that it was too scary for kids, which that kind of surprised me. 'Cause all the kids tend to, they seem to like it a lot.
Yeah, no, the kids' reaction to this was incredible. In fact, when they asked you to stay, I was like, well, Julian's obviously top looks. I thought you were a top look and Darla was a bottom look, but I was mistaken. So tell me a little bit more about exactly what the kid had asked for, because you toned, like, because what he was asking for was pretty gruesome.
Yeah, he actually used the words Walking Dead style zombie, but this is supposed to be a whimsical challenge, so it's like we can't always give what the kids ask for. It needs to be able to be child friendly for any kid. So trying to find it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
But he wanted it to be Walking Dead style, realistic, have zombie on one side, completely regular on the other, which I think I don't know how that would have looked. And then bright red, bright purple, beating heart, a red laser eye, bloody, gory, purple, green, and red mohawk. So he had a pretty long list.
Yeah, it seems like at some point this kid's just saying nouns. He's just saying things.
Yeah.
But that's, window also is there. But yeah, that's when Neville said that it was kind of design purgatory. That kind of, I don't know, it kind of.
I didn't even know what he meant by that at one point. I was like, what?
It didn't make sense to me because it seemed like, well, if it goes too far in one direction, which the kid is asking for, this super scary creature, if you deliver that 100%, then it is going to be too scary for kids.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like this is something that out of all of them, I could see this most likely becoming a toy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like something that is made for a child that the kids would say, oh, I want to play with that toy. It's cool. And it's got this cool accessory. And this is, you know, I see that as being something that they would see a toy like that and say, this is my imaginary friend. This is my new buddy.
I mean,
Yeah. I was kind of going for like a R.L. Stein Goosebumps toy.
That was
like,
Aaron is wearing a Goosebumps shirt.
Yep.
I love darkness.
To me, this could be you know how like in 80s cartoon shows there was always like the redeemed villain, like there was a guy who started off as a bad guy but he was really just kind of dumb and misled. Like I feel like this could be that on a kids show. Like I would buy this character as that. To me, this has a place in a cinematic universe.
It kind of reminded me of if you guys ever watched Dinosaurs, the teenage brother on Dinosaurs. Yeah.
I noticed that as soon as he started walking out, bobbing his head, it was like, oh god, I made that character.
I loved it though because I loved that character too. I was like, this is a cooler, modern version of the cool older brother on Dinosaurs.
Pretty much. And we always talk about like cinematic value of these makeups. This is something I can see on a kids TV show. You know, because technically a lot of kids TV shows now are actually they're pretty gruesome.
They go
I
there.
feel. I mean, and even then, like He-Man, Skeletor, really?
Yeah.
Like come on. Like,
Spot on, Skeletor.
I mean, you know, I practice. But like I can actually see like some sort of like there was a rapper dog, I can't remember.
From The Simpsons?
A rapper dog? Are you talking about Parappa the Rapper?
Yeah, like, I mean, if we can have that, we can have hip-hop zombie-looking thingies.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was thinking of. I don't know. I'm pulling out all the nerdy stops right now, but that's what I was thinking of, and I thought it was really freaking cool.
I think what really kills me about this is because it's like really great makeup and the whole construction of it, but it's like you guys pick the child You guys screened these kids and you gave him a difficult
Oh
one.
yeah, the producers.
Yeah, the
picked
producers.
kids,
And it's
yeah.
like, you just gave him like a loaded gun and pointed it at his head and was like, oh yeah, try to make this whimsical. This kid is clearly above, I mean, 9 or 8. He's he definitely, you can tell he's more of an edgier kid.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
they were like, oh, you didn't make it whimsical enough. Well, the kid
That's
you
not what
picked
he
clearly
wanted.
That's
wanted.
not what the child wanted.
Yeah.
This guy had more like demands than like
And on
like
top
a
of
Hollywood
that,
actress.
on top
Like,
of that, it
what?
was supposed to be his imaginary friend.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I'm just going to tell a relevant story right now, which is that we have, Elena and I have a coworker at Universal who his son wanted to have a zombie birthday party because he'd been to Halloween Horror Nights and he'd seen all the zombies and he loved Walking Dead zombies. Mind you, this is his 3rd birthday party. What? Wants to have a zombie party. And because they toned it down so much, his reaction at the end of the party was, Daddy, when are we going to my zombie party? And I just feel like if you'd gone too far in the other direction, the makeup would have been unrecognizable to the child who created it in the first place.
The way you told that story made it sound like we have a 3-year-old coworker.
No, it's the son of one of our coworkers.
We do.
But I feel like, yeah, this was Andrew. This is what he wanted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like if you, as the judges, they can say, oh, well, this is too scary, but talk to Andrew for a second
Yeah.
and then be
Yeah.
like, oh, this is clearly what this child has in his head. I don't know.
Again, it just brings up the same fact of like the judges bringing up like, oh, you did what the client wanted, the tiny client.
That was the worst statement ever, too.
Yeah,
on the
I was
record.
just like, what are you talking about? Isn't that what our
One thing that I really like about this makeup is the gold teeth.
Yes!
Added, like, gold
I
teeth
noticed
to it.
that.
so glad that you did
And
that.
I love the detail because when I was walking around the lab and I saw it and because I knew that he had the Walking Dead zombie and I was like, how is he gonna do that? And he made the smile and all that. I'm like, he did such a good job like making that whimsical without it being like, oh, that's scary. And then when he added the gold teeth, I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect. And then so for them to say like, oh, it's scary. It has gold teeth.
It's scary.
Boombox. And yeah.
What's he gonna do with that?
Yeah. I'm like, I have never been afraid that a creature was going to kill me with sick beats.
Unless he was playing a terrible song by
Stop.
Ariana Grande. Copyright infringement.
Ben was also a bottom look, and unfortunately, this one did send him home. And I have to say, this is definitely not his best look.
No.
But talking about the amount of work that went into it,
He did so much.
there are 3 heads. And also talking about how Aaron was saying they pre-screen these children. This kid flat out, he's like, oh, well, he flies everywhere. He's like, well, you know, Blaine, our model has to walk on stage. Nope.
They even edit it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you kind of set him up with an impossible thing where he's like, I need a crazy CGI creature that doesn't actually exist in real life, that there's no way that you can make, so make it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because he's like, you do, Ben, this is to the little kid Blaine, is like, you do realize this has to go on a person. Like, there needs to be some basis in the human form. And this is, once again, an instance of he tried to do exactly what the kid wanted, and the kid was thrilled with it.
Oh, he was so happy.
Blaine during the judging was maybe my favorite part of the whole episode.
I mean, he even talked to the judges. Do you like my monster?
Yeah. it's funny, right?
It does look a little public television.
It does.
And that's, I think, the main issue with it is that it looks like
know.
something you would see in a really early morning cartoon before anyone's actually awake.
I appreciate the amount of work that went into this, but he bit off more than he could chew. And I did like that Anthony owned up to the fact that he's like, you know, Ben bit off more than he could chew, and I couldn't find a way to redirect his energies. Like, basically saying that he sort of failed Ben as a coach a little bit in this challenge, which I was very sad
The whole thing was just
about.
sad, especially because Anthony is now gone too.
I know.
Because he was the last remaining team member, now it's just down to the 2, Race and Laura. I know Jamie's like, wow.
I was very proud of Ben though, because he he's worked so hard and he's grown so much on the show. And Anthony helped him a lot doing that. So, I mean, it's like seeing, you know, after being eliminated, I'm not in the lab anymore, so I don't know what's going on, but seeing how much work Ben put into it and how much heart he put into, you know, into making Blaine really care for that character.
Yes.
That's like, this episode broke my heart. Because I was like, oh, Ben. Like, and then just to see, you know, the last person leave from the team.
And Ben's been so consistently good throughout too.
He really has. I mean, I loved his makeup last week. I talked about it a lot, and he's done a lot of things that I've really, really enjoyed. And we know that he can do the fun kid thing. His troll makeup was amazing, and sort of along the same lines of this, of like fun but also kind of scary. But yeah, I was sad that this one got away from him.
It's difficult at this point in the competition because you want to, I mean, you have the mentality, go big or go home, and you don't want to go home. So you do have the tendency to kind of bite off more than you can chew, I think. Totally. Because you're trying to make this what is being requested, and you want it to be the best version it can be. This is one that I think actually, if he had had more time, could have been really, really cool. And just running into those time constraints, it's such a difficult situation. So we're sad to see Ben go.
Yeah. Also, with Ben's makeup, I really liked how he incorporated like the 3 heads, where like they're on each arm instead of just like putting them like on the shoulders. It was. I thought that was really creative. Yeah. To extend it.
Yeah. No, the idea behind this monster was just spot on. It was just too much work for the amount of time that he had.
Yeah. And even like he wanted to like protect his model in the costume, so he put like knee pads to like help them. And he like took the time out to make the knee pads to like protect the model's knees. And I
that's so considerate.
There was a lot of heart that went into this creation.
Yeah, I even like that the model was even helping out, like gluing the feathers.
Yes.
I loved that.
I will say, if you have to go home on a challenge, at least it's one that if your challenge is to make a child happy and that child is ecstatic, then at least you know, all right, grown up sitting at a table giving me some feedback. This kid's stoked. So. Now, I know you guys you're just in town for a little bit, so you're doing Monster Palooza and everything, which is awesome. But I have to bring this up because I also stalk your social media. Not creepy at all. Julian, like, you're not already a superstar. And also, you gave us presents, and that made me feel really good. I have to point out, he gave us some face casts of Boris Karloff, and it's hanging in my house. I'm really excited. But on top of that, I was like, oh, this is already an amazing person. Oh, also, he saved a child from drowning. So you guys went to the beach.
So I was taking them to see my hometown, you know, where I grew up and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, let's go to the beach. I took them to the beach. We're sitting there for like 15 minutes on the jetty. And
just playing my uke.
He's playing his uke. And then I think I noticed this kid.
She looks over and she sees this kid. She's like, I think this kid needs help. And I look, I'm like, oh no, I think he's fine. she's like, no. And then Julian's like, no. And Julian's like, do you need help? And he's like, yes.
So so Julian, without like, he just, you know, takes his shoes off, takes his phone out of his pocket.
Well, I like looked around and everyone was just looking at the kid. No one was doing anything. So it was like, all right.
So he gets it. He actually goes down through the jagged rocks because it's a jetty, and he goes into the water.
60-degree water.
60-degree water, and he swims out to the kid, and then the kid's dad is swimming out to him. So they're there, and then an old surfer guy comes over and picks them up too. So there's the 4 of them, but they're caught in a rip current.
Jamie runs to go call the police, and so she's running on the rocks to get to the police, and then the surfer took the kid, and the dad was left with Julian, and then the dad just left Julian. He had the boogie board and he just left, and then I look over and I'm panicky. I'm like trying to find Julian, and I can't find Julian. I'm like, where's Julian? I see the dad. I'm like, and then I look out and he's just all the way out. He went from being where he was at to just thrown out, and
really quickly.
Like really, really quickly. And then by the time, so what Julian was saying was that, you know, it got pretty close to him where exhaustion hit and all that stuff hit.
The temperature and
Wearing jeans.
And I was getting to the end of the jetty too, so it was about to.
So he's yelling for help now.
I put myself in that situation.
So he's yelling for help now, and then the final a wave finally pushed him into the rocks, and a couple guys grabbed him. So by the time I got back,
I was out of there. Yeah.
He was out of the ocean.
The lifeguards came.
Yeah.
So,
and then the lifeguards came. That's the point of the story, that the lifeguards came.
But they were, I mean, it
awesome.
wasn't just like a 5-minute thing. This was on for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
so, if he didn't jump in, I don't think anybody would have jumped in to actually help the kid. And the attention wouldn't have been there,
Oh my word. You wearing a Superman shirt also. Irony was not lost in this situation.
We were teasing him, like, you're superhero, the last challenge. There you go.
Yeah, it all kind of ties in because you were a superhero and then you're creating the life of this imaginary friend for a kid and then saving the life of an actual kid. So it's life imitating art, imitating life.
I guess I kind of got into character too much. I am a superhero.
That's what happens when you put on the Superman shirts. Next thing you know, you're like trying to fly off a building, and it's just
amazing. Well, guys, I'm so glad that you, one, are in town, and then two, that you came and hung out with us.
It's so nice meeting you guys. You're so nice.
Thunderous applause from the studio audience. Wow. And you guys will be at Monsterpalooza too.
Yeah, yes. All three of us are going to be there. Regina, Logan, and Anthony Kozar.
Alan.
And Alan. Alan's going to be there, so yeah.
Oh, nice.
Alan's in town now.
Have a cool
great.
project.
All of us are going to be there, so hunt us down.
So if anyone's in LA, there you go.
Yeah, you've just received an invitation to stalk all of them.
You don't know.
I do, online. Well, thank you guys again so much. Where can we find you guys, too, when you're not on Monsterpalooza and you're online where I'm stalking you?
Well, my Twitter handle is Julian Bonfiglio 0.
Mine's just Emily Serpico.
And then my Instagram and Twitter, it's J Rayleigh.
Nice,
Excellent.
Nice. And you can always find us on Twitter, too. Be sure to use that hashtag ABTV face-off whenever you tweet us. I'm on Twitter at Alana Jordan. And, of course, be sure to also find us on iTunes and SoundCloud, AFTERBUZZ TV. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ-TV. Where can we find you, Aaron?
You can find me on Twitter at AAMO Music.
You can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe. You can also find me on Instagram at Emma Fyffe. I've got a Pinterest I'm basically Emma Fyffe anywhere Emma Fyffes are sold.
Nice. And you can find me all over the social media as atorres890. You can also find me on my YouTube channel as PS890. I will be vlogging from now on since I'm doing more AfterBuzz shows, working here, and doing other things.
Nice. So find us on all the places and then find us right back here next week.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.